My name is Tene Sommer, and this is Marbella Life. I'll be talking to some of my friends and interesting people to find out more what it's like to live and work here. My third guest is the lovely Tara Lorimer, an esteemed wedding and event planner who has lived in Marbella for over 20 years, but originally comes from Scotland. She studied in Saint Petersburg and has worked in New York and London before ending up in Costa del Sol. For a whole decade, she worked in the famed 5-star hotel, Puente Romano, and today she is sharing with me everything about her work and behind the scenes, and of course, what does her life in Marbella look like?
I feel like Marbella is a really special place.
Yeah.
It has really amazing energy. Obviously, you have the weather, but apart from that, the location of Marbella between the mountain and the sea creates
a little magic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think I really truly felt that, and from day one, I always knew that this was going to be my home, and I've since then never, not for one day, imagined, of living anywhere else. You know, in Feng Shui, they say that to live between a mountain and the sea creates like wealth. I mean, not just wealth in money, but wealth in how you live your life. And I definitely think that this is very true of Marbella. I actually moved to Marbella on the 14th of February, 20 years ago. So in February will be 20 years that I've been here.
On Valentine's Day.
On Valentine's Day. And I originally came here for love.
Oh, so romantic.
Which
I didn't know that.
I think a lot of people do that.
Maybe. I came from work, but I stayed for love.
You came for work. Okay. So I think having children here is so incredible. I mean, really, the friends that have children, we do so many great things together in the outside, being on the, I mean, now even we're in December and we can be on the beach with our kids. Yeah, I was the first non-Spanish manager of in Puente Romano.
Female as well.
Female, yeah, exactly. And I have to say I had a lot of challenges there, but it was also the most, experience.
Probably rewarding.
Exactly. And eventually I ended up 10 years in Puente Romano. Daniel is a huge visionary. I mean, he really has incredible vision to create what he created.
What has been the biggest event so far, or the biggest wedding that you've organized?
I did assist in a 600 people wedding here, a 3-day wedding, a Jewish wedding, which I love Jewish weddings.
And you're so calm and collected. I remember also when I was working in Puente Romano for some short time with you, I think something happened. I would call you, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I don't know, the reservation didn't come or whatever. And you were like, it's okay. It's okay. Well, it's all right. Don't worry. We'll just find it. I was like, how are you so cool and calm and collected? How do you stay calm in stressful moments like that?
They say that, you know, wedding planning and event planning is the 5th most stressful job in the world, which I can't really believe.
And what's the number 1 then? Being a mother?
Probably.
So, hello. Welcome, Tara. Thank you for coming today to Besaya Beach, to this lovely restaurant. It's so nice to see you, and you look gorgeous, as always.
Oh, well, it's so nice to sit here with you.
Yeah.
We've known each other for a very long time, it seems.
I think I met you 2010 when I came first to sing in Suite Del Mar.
Yes,
so
exactly.
That's like...
with your
almost
sister
14 years ago now. Next year, no?
Yeah.
So, yeah, a long time.
I know, they were good moments.
Yes, the good old Marbella.
Yeah, the good times.
Yeah. So I want you to tell me a bit more. How did you end up in Marbella, and what was your background? Because you're coming you're from Scotland.
Yes, that's a good question. Well, I'm originally from Scotland, I actually moved to Marbella on the 14th of February, 20 years ago. So
My
in
God.
February will be 20 years that I've been here.
On Valentine's Day.
On Valentine's Day. And I originally came here for love.
Oh, I was so romantic.
Which
I didn't know that.
I think a lot of people do that.
Maybe. I came from work, but I stayed
You
for
came
love.
for work. Okay.
So I think it's like that. So I didn't know that. Tell me more about that.
And well, I actually always knew Marbella. I came here from a child for holidays. So I always already felt like Marbella was my second home. And then I lived in a few other places around the world.
Such as?
Such as, well, at university I studied Russian.
Oh.
So I lived 1 year in Saint Petersburg. I went to university there in Saint Petersburg, which was, an amazing experience. Yeah. And Russia is a country that I hold very dear in my heart. Russian culture, I love. That was an amazing year. And when I finished university, then the first job I got was in New York. So I lived in New York for 2.5 years. I worked for the British government in their tourism sector.
Not a bad start. No?
Not a bad start, yeah, exactly. So I moved to London and I worked in 5-star hotels, Savoy, Claridges, Connaught, Barkley. And after that, I think I felt I was done with big cities. I'd done the big city lifestyle. So, and because I always came to Marbella and I always liked Spain and I always liked languages, it was a very easy move for me to come to Spain. And I have to say even though I knew Marbella, when I moved here, the first day that I was here, I really, truly had a feeling like this was going to be my home. I feel like Marbella is a really special place. Yeah. It has really amazing energy. Obviously, you have the weather, but apart from that, the location of Marbella between the mountain and the sea creates
a little magic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think I really, truly felt that. And from day one, I always knew that this was going to be my home. And I've since then never, not for one day, imagined, of living anywhere else.
Wow. So you see yourself living here for the rest of your life, retirement?
Yeah. I mean, it's a great place to live.
It is. And to retire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it has a lot of different cultures, a lot of different worlds here. I feel like after living in New York, where in New York, everyone you meet is from somewhere else. So you have this real mix of cultures. I feel like Marbella is like a little bit like that. So you have people from many different countries living here. And it's so nice to have a group of friends that share all different cultures. And it makes it's special.
And it's easier to feel at home. Whereas if you go to Spain, any other country, village or town, everyone is from Spain, you feel like you're the outsider. But here, if you're from somewhere, you're all from somewhere.
Yeah,
we create our own little community,
Yeah, absolutely.
So I feel the same, that it's easier to feel at home here because everyone is from somewhere. You really hardly ever meet someone who's from Marbella. That's really rare.
Exactly. My daughter.
Yeah. My kids. But that's
they're the new generation.
Oh, hello. Hi. Hello, you want to go? How cute. Next episode, okay? I'll call you up. So you came to Marbella for love?
So I came to Marbella for love.
But you started working.
I stayed. And actually, the person that I fell in love with has ended up being one of my best friends. And so we've always stayed in each other's life. And that is also something very special, I have to say, to have someone that feels like family. Because I think also when you live here and your family live in another country, your friends often become your family. You rely on your close friends, and I have a very, very amazing group of friends, women, men, but a lot of strong girls. And I'm very, very happy with the group of friends we have here, and we all rely on each other.
Yeah, like a little family. It's
Yeah.
true. I feel like since I don't have my family around from Estonia either, I feel like it's like you said, my friends become my family, you know?
Yeah,
It's like,
they really do.
you know, because you do miss your family. I do miss my family. So,
Exactly.
so how did you start working here? I mean, you've come from working in top places, and Marbella is quite tiny.
Yeah.
Where did you go in Marbella to work?
Well, I was very lucky because I knew John Thompson, who's one of Puente Romano and Marbella Club's probably most well-known faces.
It's after you.
Yeah. And so I already knew John, but after a few years of being here, he asked me to work in what was Suite Del Mar, which was the famous beach restaurant party scene of Marbella in those days.
Yeah,
that was around 2004. And so I started working there. Obviously, I knew Russian. I was learning Spanish at that point, speaking English. And I was the first non-Spanish manager of in Puente Romano.
Female as well.
Female, yeah, exactly. And I have to say I had a lot of challenges there. But it was also the most, experience.
Probably rewarding.
Exactly.
After.
And eventually I ended up 10 years in Puente Romano. I started off one summer in Suite Del Mar. And at the end of the summer, the lovely Denise, that was the public relations for Suite, announced that she was leaving as she was having a baby. And I thought to myself, I want to do that job.
And said, I'll get it. I'll take it.
So I ended up doing that job. And that's how I met you.
Yes.
And actually, that's how I met so many people here in Marbella. So really, between Marbella Club and Puente Romano, I ended up, I know those hotels inside out.
Yeah.
I ended up doing lots of different styles of work. From the nightclub to the restaurants to the public relations, the events, presenting. Yeah. Then I ended up presenting all their galas and all their fashion shows.
You've done it all. You've really done it all.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You're such a multi-talent. And then you started organizing weddings and parties.
Yeah.
So you moved higher and higher.
Yeah, we used to organize all the opening parties, all the closing parties, all the parties from the hotel. And I did a wedding in Via del Mar. And I thought to myself, wow, this is like organizing a party without having to invite all the people as well.
Yeah, good. It's a good thing to cross off.
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously I had my daughter, and I decided that the nightlife was not how I wanted to continue. And I became a wedding planner. So often what you study, what you start off doing is not what you end up doing.
For sure.
But definitely the whole journey along the way has been extremely rewarding.
So what were some of the challenges that you had to face in Puente Romano? Because I know it's an amazing company, but it's also quite old school and traditional in a way. I mean, and the hierarchy and everything. So how was that experience, or how do you work with that?
Yeah, it's very true. When I started there, I would say now it's probably a lot more modern.
Yeah.
But when I started there, it definitely had this sort of old school style to it. And like I said, I was, I think, one of the first foreigners there as a sort of in a management role. Obviously, the language, my Spanish wasn't great. It's much better now. I learned so much there with the language. And actually, I think what I really took out of Puente Romano was the teamwork. Because, you know, it's a huge hotel. You have lots of different departments. when you are trying to get your job done, you have to rely on a number of different departments in order for what you're doing to work. And I definitely learned the art of appreciating every single person that makes up that role in order to get a job done. Everyone is important, from the gardeners to maintenance to housekeeping, in the kitchen, the chefs, the dishwashers, the guys that drive the buggies, reception. There's so many people there, and really it becomes like a game of psychology in a way, because you have to learn how to work as a team, and I definitely learned that there. Building making people feel part of a team is really important,
and to have good relationships with everyone. Like you said, you can't have someone not like you, because they might, make your job a lot harder.
Well, I know that under moments of stress, when I had big events, I definitely would maybe tell someone in a sharp way when I needed something done. But then afterwards, I would always say, I'm sorry that in that moment I
screamed at you.
Yeah, I screamed at you, exactly.
But I needed it done.
But I needed it done. And actually, people always understand. And in a way, they appreciate that you take your job seriously.
Yeah, and also you cannot, as much as you want to be friends with everyone, you sometimes still are the boss of some people. So
exactly.
It's a fine line.
Yeah. And when you're doing a wedding, every single detail has to be perfect. And you definitely need the help of your team. It's not something you can do on your own. And in Punta Romano, I have to say they're a huge family, and I definitely felt a lot of love from everyone in that hotel. And I also felt a lot of love towards all of them, and I still do.
And how was working with Daniel? Because he's the one really that created the Puente Romano that is the hotspot now. It was really nothing to do with it what it is now. When I was here in 2010, it was lovely. Sweet Del Mar was also booming. It was a great hotspot. But the Plaza and Nobu and all the amazing additions that he's brought, how was it there? Did you realize that when Daniel came into the game that he was gonna change it up?
When I started in the hotel, his father was still very much
involved.
Yeah, running the show. And Daniel is a huge visionary. He really has incredible vision to create what he created. And I think part of being a good visionary is seeing the goal and not being put off by the journey to get there. And definitely, he probably made a lot of steps that people questioned, but the outcome of what he saw
has paid off.
Yeah. It's the best hotel in Marbella, if not in Europe, and its reputation is second to none, and it has the most amazing clients.
Yeah, and he's lifted the whole area, the whole Golden Mile, and everyone wants to be around Puente Romano.
Yeah,
just to get a piece of Puente Romano. It's amazing what he's done.
Yeah, and Daniel is someone that's always very calm and always has a great sense of humor.
Probably what you need, otherwise you're not gonna come out of it alive.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's still very humble, which I like about him. Whenever you see him, he's still a humble, so polite, so well-mannered, and I think that's also how you go so far.
Yeah.
Not being arrogant, or because he could be,
Yeah, of
obviously,
course.
but I think it's, you learn a lot from these kind of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
he is a visionary here.
Yeah. So what happened then from Puente Romano? You started doing the weddings, and then you thought, maybe I should do them.
Yeah,
myself?
I guess
Or how was that step?
I think, and you'll probably understand this, once you become a mother, your life changes in certain aspects. And I definitely appreciated the 10 years that I was in Puente Romano. But for sure, everything has to evolve. Everything in life has to have movement. And when I decided to leave, it wasn't for any other reason than to have a change in my life. And at that point, doing events was something that I knew that I really loved. And definitely in Marbella, event planning is something that we have a lot of events going on here.
You really need it. So what kind of events do you plan? You do
so
everything.
Obviously weddings, a lot of people get married here, but many different types of events. People are celebrating everything from birthdays to anniversaries. Sometimes I think, people come here and they want to have a party. There's all these amazing villas here. And often people want, all their friends to come here for the weekend and they want to throw a party in their villa. And this is where I come in with organizing every element of an event. And that's what I really love to do.
Yeah. And what has been the biggest event so far, or the biggest wedding that you've organized?
I would say, I did assist in a 600 people wedding here, a 3-day wedding, a Jewish wedding, which I love Jewish weddings.
Why?
Because, they're so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
have to go to one.
If you've never been, then you have to go to one. You can come with me.
I'll come as your assistant.
Exactly. There's so much fun. It's all about enjoying. It's actually the ceremony is a very spiritual event. It's really beautiful. The ceremony, I think the Israeli singing, as they call it, is really touches your soul. And obviously the breaking of the glass is such a monumental moment in the celebration of a wedding, a Jewish wedding. And then the party, as soon as they arrive to dinner, it's a party. And I mean, I like organizing events with music. I like the whole concept of lighting and sound and all these elements that create the best environment for guests to enjoy themselves. So although you have the romantic ceremony at the beginning, which is equally as important, the party is the bit that I really like to get it right.
That's when you remember the old times. Probably.
Exactly. Yeah.
But have you had any funny happenings or memorable moments, weddings?
Oh goodness. I did have a bride, so they were getting married on the beach, and obviously they're in their hotel room, which is all air conditioned and everything is cool and calm, but it can get very hot here. So I remember that she was wearing this incredible dress, beautiful. You're nervous, and I think when people become nervous because of emotions, it's one thing it does is it creates even more heat inside of you. You become hot. And she was really so lovely, but she was absolutely dying of the heat. I mean, it was really, really hot. And I could see her during the ceremony suffering because of the heat. And the ceremony finished. And as she was walking down the aisle, she literally grabbed my hand like this and was like, we need to go to the bathroom, because she was wearing like Spanx.
So she was super hot and sweating.
So as women, we tend to wear these like underwear that holds everything in, even though she didn't need to. But I think with wedding dresses, people wear corsets and things underneath. It makes everything. And she was just like, I need to get this off. We went to the toilet. We got that wedding dress off. We took it off. She was like, threw them in the bin. She said, tell all your brides never to wear Spanx.
Okay, so no Spanx in weddings.
Exactly.
Okay. Coming from a wedding planner. No?
Oh, okay. Well, probably the worst thing that happens to people during their wedding is that they party too much the night before.
Oh, so then they show up hungover.
So you often find not so much the brides because we're probably a little bit more sensible.
Put in the cucumbers at night and stuff.
Yeah, we're aware that we start hair and makeup at like 9 o'clock in the morning. But you do find often in weddings that the groom might turn up with a hangover. Oh. And I have had to deal with a range of hangovers of grooms, of going running to the pharmacy and getting them like
what's the best,
everything possible.
What's the best cure?
Oh, the best cure is something you can only get here in Spain, and it's called esteemed.
Esteemed, yes.
And that is like the magical hangover remover.
I thought it was a Corona in the morning.
A Bloody Mary.
Yeah. Or a mimosa.
Yeah, exactly.
That also works.
Yeah, but I often say I'll say to men, please don't get too drunk the night before. Don't peak too soon. You know, on your wedding day, after your speech, you can go crazy. And also wear sunscreen. Especially here because, you know, you have men, again, turning up and they've been the day before, they have like the glasses mark.
God, I have to do makeup for the men.
And they have to do the makeup to cover. So I'm like, sunscreen. Don't drink too much the night before. And usually with that, they're all good.
It's a good one. Okay. Is there anything that stands out from the events that you have organized?
Oh, let me think. Well, I guess with events, all events basically are challenges. It's problem solving. An event is, you can be as organized as you possibly can. But the true energy of an event is to problem solve. I did this summer, I was doing an event for Nike. Nike came to Marbella, which was great for Marbella. Yeah. We had 600 people all wearing Nikes.
Wow.
It was super cool. And I was taking care of the entertainment for 2 parties. And the main event, we basically had a technical issue. And at midnight, the day before of the main event, we basically had to change everything.
Oh, no.
So challenges like that, yeah, I mean, as soon as you realize that something has to change, it's finding the solutions. It's putting everything in place, and it's and actually I have to say we managed to pull it off.
Oh.
It all turned out spectacular.
But you always remember that moment that I can't sleep.
It was midnight.
Oh God. You can't call anyone.
Well, I did. I did. If an event planner calls you at midnight the night before, you pick up the phone.
Okay, good. At least.
And we managed to we salvaged it and everything was perfect. But those things happen.
Yeah, and you're so calm and collected. I remember also when I was working in Puente Romano for some short time with you, I think something happened. I would call you, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I don't know, the reservation didn't come or whatever. And you were like, it's okay. It's okay. Well, it's all right. Don't worry. We'll just find it. I was like, how are you so cool and calm and collected? How do you stay calm in stressful moments like that?
They say that, you know, wedding planning and event planning is the 5th most stressful job in the world, which I can't really believe.
And what's the number 1 then? Being a mother?
Probably.
A mother, and then there's a few in between. Wedding planner. For sure.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, it is stressful. I don't see it being the 5th, but it is a stressful job. But first, I do think that this is how I've ended up being an event planner because I do just generally always feel calm. And I do know that there is always a solution for everything.
So that's
and
your superpower.
Finding a solution. Yeah, maybe. Is finding a solution. And I have been told before that I make people feel calm.
Yeah, you do. It's such amazing skill or personality trait to have. So you don't do anything about it. This is just how you are. You don't meditate in the morning.
Well, I do. I definitely have. I mean, one of my personal interests for sure is psychology and the psychology between people, understanding as as humans, how we function, how our brain functions, how we use our past, how it affects our decision making, and that is probably something that over the years I have studied and I definitely put into practice when dealing with situations, when dealing with people.
It becomes useful.
Yeah, exactly.
This episode is brought to you by Besaya Beach and Tikitano by Besaya. Visit my website to find out more about these beautiful restaurants. Let's talk more about Marbella and the Marbella lifestyle and your life in Marbella. So what is Marbella lifestyle for you?
Well, Marbella for me is like the perfect mix between this sort of luxury, superstar, champagne, music, nightlife, and a spiritual, healthy, comforting place to live. I see that mix very well. And I think that the people that end up staying in Marbella for a long time or end up staying here for their lives is because they have the perfect balance of both. Marbella is like a party place, but it also has, you know, this incredibly healthy lifestyle. You can be walking in the mountains, you can be walking in the paseo, obviously swimming in the sea. You have so many, beautiful people that are drawn to Marbella. It's definitely a place that has, for me, as you said, like a magical feeling. It has something that gives you, a sense of calm, a sense of, I feel grateful every single day that I wake up here. I can see the sea from my bedroom. I can see the mountain. You know, in Feng Shui, they say that to live between a mountain and the sea creates like wealth. I mean, not just wealth in money, but wealth in how you live your life. And I definitely think that this is very true of Marbella. So you have this party lifestyle, you know, people on the yachts, you know, paying 10,000 euros for a table in a nightclub. But then you also have this other side of it. And when you have the balance, is when everything flows. Yeah, that's where the magic happens. Yeah, exactly. I think people try hard to find that balance. It's hard to find the balance as people can get lost in the nightlife and all the distractions. But I think when you find your way out of it and you can balance both, this is the Marbella life you want. Exactly. Isn't it? Yeah. It absolutely is. And it's a lovely place to raise your family and kids. And I think having children here is so incredible. I mean, really, like I said, I have an amazing group of friends. The friends that have children, we do so many great things together in the outside, being on the, I mean, now even we're in December and we can be on the beach with our kids. Spain is also, I think, a culture that really accepts children. You know, you can go out for dinner at night with your baby in a pram and it's totally accepted. It's a very child-friendly place. And the weather allows it also. Exactly. You know, you can't do that in Glasgow. No, exactly. Kids are in bed by 7 o'clock. Yeah, it's dark. Whereas here, it's, you know, my daughter plays tennis. She does horse riding. There's so many sports that you can do here. Water sports. It's a really beautiful place to live. And what kind of hobbies do you have, or how do you spend your free time? Well, like I said, Marbella is such an amazing place to go walking. Walking for me is definitely something that I've always done in my life. When I lived in Russia, I went walking a lot. When I lived in New York, I walked. I learned how to do the New York fast walking. Yeah. You count the blocks of where you have to go. I love speed walking also. Yeah. That was something I definitely learned there and I've always continued to do. Maybe a bit less now, but in Marbella, Yeah, you can be walking. Like I said, the mountain is here. Hiking.
Have you gone up to La Concha?
I have. Yeah.
That's still on my bucket list. I have to
Yeah,
go.
that's an amazing thing to do, to climb to the top of the mountain. I climbed with my dog. I don't know if you remember my dog, my Jack Russell, that had legs this size.
Oh my God.
And when we came down the mountain, at moments I was carrying her because her paws were bleeding. But she absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And yeah, climbing La Concha is amazing. The views. Yeah, I mean, hobbies. Marbella, I think there's so much that you can always do. There's always many different. In the winter, we can go. There's snow now in the mountains. We can go skiing in Sierra Nevada.
That's the best thing. From here, you can go, to so many places. You can use the Gibraltar or the Malaga airport.
Yeah.
Or just go to Sevilla. I love taking day trips to Sevilla or Granada or Malaga.
Yeah, Granada is also beautiful. An amazing place to be. All the hammams.
Yeah, Alhambra. And there's actually a really good hammam in Malaga as well.
Yeah, I have
really
been.
good. Yeah,
I love the hammam.
Yeah. So what are your favorite places, like in Marbella or near Marbella, that you think people should try out or should go? Maybe a favorite restaurant or a hammam, or what are your favorite places?
The hammam in Malaga is amazing. I mean, to go there and spend a few hours you really feel like you're going back in time to the Moorish lifestyle here. In Marbella, wow, I think I've been to. Yeah, from the top restaurants to the cheapest chiringuitos, they all have their special feeling. I love going to Old Town Marbella. I love going and walking about the Old Town, going to the restaurants there. I think that the restaurants in Old Town Marbella, the Spanish restaurants, have really upped their game and are selling incredible traditional Spanish style cuisine, but in a very modern environment. And the wine selection here is incredible. I mean, we really cannot complain about the wines that we have here. And then, I guess on the beaches, I mean, Sonora's one of my favorite, which is just super cool and funky. I love the music. I love music, so anywhere that plays cool music, I'm happy to be there. But I'm also happy to just sit in a menu del dia, a €10 chiringuito, eating gambas pil pil.
But again, you will find all of Tara's favorite places on my blog. So you have to go and visit my blog later, and I will list also Tara's favorite places. And you can go and check them out. So I want to continue about talking about Marbella, because this is what this podcast is about. What would you say is like the biggest misconception about Marbella?
Yeah, I think that would be that people see Marbella as this party place, which it is, but it does have another side to it. So obviously, with, I guess, programs like The Only Way is Essex, coming to Marbella and all that type of thing, gave Marbella maybe a bit of a bad reputation, definitely amongst us Brits. Which on one hand, it probably, put Marbella on the scene quite a lot. But it also was this sort of reputation of being all about looks, all about the car you drive.
Superficial.
Yeah, pretentious, being seen in the best places. And Marbella does have that, but it's not all that. It definitely, has this other side. Otherwise, I definitely wouldn't be living here if it was all, superstar. So, I think that misconception, people that come to Marbella, I think are always surprised at really how beautiful the city is. When you drive from Malaga Airport and you come into Marbella, you know, there's flowers everywhere. It smells incredible. The streets are all very clean, very well kept. Everything, the old town is really spectacular, and it really sort of, kept the traditional element of what Marbella was originally, which was like a fishing village. So I think people that spend some time here are really pleasantly surprised at all the different elements that we have. And I know for sure people that have lived here and moved either back to their hometown or somewhere else, and 80% end up moving back.
Yeah.
And that says a lot.
But it's also, like you said, it's going to these traditional places and not just falling into the tourist traps. That can give you this idea that, oh, Marbella is just that Puerto Banús, the high-end stores, so expensive cars, so expensive restaurants. No, go and check out Tara's recommendations where to go. You go to these nice, relaxed, not the most expensive beach clubs and restaurants. And then you'll see life is, you know, we have a very normal life here as well. And then on your payday, you can go and spend it on the champagne on the yacht. But then you can just have a cava on the beach on a blanket if you want.
Exactly.
You know, and take your dog and your kids and have the most amazing day.
Absolutely. You know? Go out on a paddleboard.
Yeah. I love paddleboarding.
Go swimming. Yeah.
So what would you tell people who want to come and live in Marbella? What advice would you give them? Or how hard is it to make it here? If you want to work here and live here?
That's a very good question. Well, as we touched on before, I think making friends here is very easy. I feel like as long as you are open, you find that most people living here are also very open, as we said, because, you know, you have people living here most people are from somewhere else. So we've all sort of been in the situation of coming here and not knowing anyone. And I feel that element makes it very easy to meet friends, to be social. There's lots of, social events here for people of all different ages as well. So, and definitely Marbella for older people is a super place to live. Work-wise, obviously we're not a big city. We're more like a village.
Yes, we are.
In summer, I think we double our population with all the tourists. So we're around 400,000. But in winter, we're like half that. And it does have a sort of more village feel. So work-wise, for sure, it's a place where you can really flourish as long as you're using the resources of what there is here, which obviously tourism, everything to do with restaurants, bars, alcohol, food. There is very high demand, but we don't have so much the marketplaces that big cities have.
Yeah, to make career.
Yeah.
But I guess a lot of the digital nomads now come and live here because COVID really pushed us to work from home. So why can't my home be here? So that has really benefited Marbella, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? People that can work like remotely are very happy to be here, to open their window every morning, to have this incredible view and to sit with their computers and be able to work on different time scales. Marbella is definitely a place where that is a possibility. Yeah.
And lastly, I would like to ask, where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years?
Oh, wow. Another 5 or 10 years.
Or 20 years or 50 years. Do you have some kind of vision? Overall, like, do you manifest things or do you think ahead about what I would like to achieve? Or does everything you like things to flow and I'm not thinking about it much, I'll just see how I feel? How are your
I have definitely realized through in the last few years, like I said, sort of having this interest in psychology, manifestation is really neuroplasticity in the brain. So it's very actually scientific. It's not just this sort of like woo-woo
spiritual thing.
Yeah. We can help our brains to focus on what we want in life. And that way we're more, like a radio signal, we're more open to picking up on these elements. I definitely think that I have naturally in my life manifested my lifestyle. From moving to Spain, from working in Puente Romano, from doing events on my own. I think naturally I always had these goals of what I wanted to achieve. And now I realize how I did it, but I wasn't probably aware of what I was doing. And so now, I think it's very important to set goals, to think of where you would like to be in 5 years' time or in 10 years' time. So that brings us back to the question of where do I...
Is it a secret or...
No, I feel like I'm actually very happy with my life. I feel very, very...
accomplished.
Content.
Yeah.
I feel happy with my life. I started a few years ago, I became a celebrant. So I also marry people. So although I do wedding planning, I also actually marry couples. And I feel like when I started that, it was something that was not like to become my main career, but was something that I enjoyed doing on the side. And I feel like that's something that as I get older, can continue to do here. And it's all about love, which is just beautiful.
Love will save the world.
Yeah, exactly. When you do a job that makes people happy, it's a service. It's the best there is. Best. Yeah. And actually, I found some notes that I wrote maybe like 8 years ago, like you're saying, like a 5-year plan. And this was just before I started wedding planning. And in my notes, it was what sort of job do you see yourself doing? And all I wrote was doing a job that makes people happy.
Oh.
And I found this recently and I thought, wow, in the end,
what you do.
Yeah, make people happy. Yeah. So I thought, okay, it just shows you that sometimes, you just have to think of what you want, and the rest takes care of itself. Yeah, I do believe that.
Well, you're a good example of that. And it's been very lovely to chat with you. And
thank you, Tani.
Thank
you too,
Tara.
as
it's
always.
Nice to see you. And like I said, you have to go and visit my blog to see more about Tara's favorite places. And they will be your new favorite places, I'm sure. And you can also follow Tara on Instagram. I will link her Instagram as well, because she will see all the amazing events and weddings she plans. So you can follow her life and get a glimpse of what's happening in Marbella. So thank you again for coming. And
thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you. And we'll see you in the next episode. This episode is brought to you by Summer Mood, sustainable clothing that is comfy and chic. Visit the online shop summermood.com.